we had taken this part, put the Bulldog on it, and put 2 coats of black urethane. What I want to do right now, before I put any clear on, this is dried overnight, I wanted to sand it down. Now, some people call this, in the body shop business, they call it color sanding. Well, I'm not sure, but what happens with plastic parts, usually once you paint them, first couple of coats you put on, never really looks like it should, because the plastic, I'm not sure if it's a chemical thing or what, it just doesn't look the way it should. If you paint a piece of metal, the first coat of paint is shiny and glossy. Not so with plastic. So what we're going to do is a little color sanding here. It doesn't look like it's raining out there yet, even though they said it was. A good chance there was. And we're going to try to get some clear on this, and then we'll get to see a little bit of what it's going to look like. Let it dry overnight for the buffing. Now what's nice is I thought I'd pass this information on. Vince has his BMW apart. Be ready, I think, hopefully maybe soon. Get over here with the parts so we can paint them, prep them, whatever we have to do. Vince, do it. Anyway, and Vince has that collector BMW also that I'm jealous of. Anyway, this color sanding thing, it may not be ultra critical, and I'm sure a lot of times if you're doing some kind of work where you're not looking for that ultimate finish, yeah, you might be able to skip this step, but I never skip steps. I have found out the hard way that skipping steps not such a great idea. Anyway, as long as we can get some clear on today, that'll be very nice. A little bonus while it's not raining and snowing. Now, let me just show. When you color sand, the idea is to get out any imperfections, or as many as you can, but not to go back down to the plastic. So we're not going to overdo it. It's going to impart a little bit of a dull finish. The clear is going to take care of that. First, second, or third coat, it won't matter. And you can see for sure there's still imperfections in that. Now what I want to do, I want to get 2 coats on. Just let that kind of sit there. Now you might be thinking that's more than 2 coats. Well, maybe, maybe not. That's the way I paint. I call that 2 coats. Now what I'm going to do, this is going to dry. Probably dry overnight. Actually, it's going to look pretty good. I'll probably wind up wet sanding this down tomorrow with some 1500 grit, maybe 2000 grit, or putting another coat on, I don't know. Although that looks pretty good right now. Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit more on this, and then we're going to be ready. Alright, that's got 3 coats on, and that definitely has to dry now. And we'll see if it's going to need one more coat. Now the bottom line here is, let me take this off. The bottom line is you could put 100 coats on here, 10 coats, but there's an optimum amount that I think is between 5 and 6 for my projects. And it's because I sand a lot of it off and buff a lot of it off. If you weren't going to sand or buff, you probably could just leave this. Now look, you can see my reflection in there. Handsome devil. Oh my God. I think we're losing our mind, but here was my point. This has to dry out here overnight. I never let the clear dry inside the house. I actually try not to do any painting, no drying in here. And in this cold weather, we're looking at about 40 right now. I may even have to dry one extra day, but when it's done, this is my point, when it's done here, it's going to add a nice touch to this bike. We have the side covers mounted on there already, and they just look fine. It'll add one little extra step. And these are all little upgrades we've done over this winter, and pretty much did a good polishing of the engine on one of the previous videos. Got a new fuel pump in the FZR. Got our rims done on this guy. The R1 we had planned on, we were going to paint the rims when it was time for a tire change, but it's not time yet. And of course the RD. And that's probably all we're going to be able to get done today.